All right. Welcome. I just started recording. You just joined. Welcome. Is it
Mhm.
Zoe or yeah? I'm assuming you go by Zoe.
Yeah, it's Zoe,
Okay.
and I use they them pronouns.
Okay.
So
Okay. Noted. Well, welcome to those who are joining us via the video. Welcome to Typology Gifts. What I do in this channel is, well, I make a lot of videos, but this is the typing series. So I type people for free, and then they let me put the video on the channel, and then anyone else can watch it and enjoy it. Have you watched any of my videos up to this point, Zoe?
yeah, I've watched a couple of them,
Okay.
but I think I found you through a Facebook group we're both in.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
All right. Cool. So you probably understand the format, kind of, but it's not going to be as let's see, like I try not to be as definitive as maybe other people are about this, and try to be more collaborative to help you figure out if you don't know what your type is, to get a second opinion, um, or third or fourth, however many times you've been typed. So um, so from that perspective, I'm just gonna ask a bunch of questions and try to try to listen between the lines, kind of. You might think that you're saying something that's oh, I'm using a word that I see on a test a lot, or something like that, but don't worry about that too much, because
yeah,
I'm more listening to between the lines kind of stuff, if that helps. You ready to go?
yeah. Let's go.
Okay, cool. So first question I like to ask people, kind of right off the bat, is do you see yourself as more proactive or reactive type of person?
Oh, uh, probably definitely reactive.
Okay.
I've always thought I was a proactive person,
hmm
um, and I think I've been learning lately that that's not necessarily true. But that's okay.
What made you think that you were proactive, or what made you think you were proactive before and then changed your
I
mind?
don't I don't know. I think I always saw myself as like a very like deep introspective thinker.
hmm
Um like and I like I've been realizing lately that that's not necessarily the case. Like it's more like, you know, I'll just like I'll just experience things and then,
hmm
whatever that is. Um yeah, I don't know if I'm really very capable of introspection because I am a little terrified of being alone with myself. And I
hmm
like, no matter how much, well, not, no, no, like most of the time that I spend alone, I'm having conversations in my head with other people and things like that. So I
Okay.
think, so I thought I was introspective, and I think what I'm realizing is like I don't really do that. And when I have to do it, it's you know it's a little terrifying.
Do you think that introspection is something you would naturally do normally, but then something is preventing you from doing it? Like, would you be doing it if well, maybe that's probably a separate rabbit trail. That's that's
Yeah,
ki-
yeah, yeah.
that's not quite where I want to go. Let me think about this for a second. Um, so do you naturally find yourself having to kind of riff off of people to
Yeah,
okay, to get to the bottom of things, kind of?
yeah. Like I definitely like I have to talk to people
hmm
in order to like often to understand what I'm feeling like, but like just generally like verbally processing. I need that like conversation. I'm also like I'm a songwriter and a
hmm
poet, and a lot
hmm
of times I I generally like don't really have any understanding of my actual emotions
hmm
until I make art about it. If I make art about it, then we're good. It'll you know the muse will send it and then it'll be there. But
hmm
I don't know if I'm really capable of it without that like kind of conversational. element, which I think is so present uh, in both music and poetry.
Okay, okay. And is it that you have to show it to other actual people, or is it that you have to express it through a medium that people can consume, or is it or is it one or the other or both? I guess could be.
Um, I think it's both. Usually, like usually it's a pretty quick turnaround. Like I'll have something, and then I like feel like this like deep need to share it immediately. I think that's how I relate um, to the world too. Is like sharing beauty with other people.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Okay. Um, how long could you go just being on your own without any human interaction?
um,
Without I don't know what's the threat what would be the threshold where it starts to become a big problem.
okay. So the
Everybody
threshold,
needs human interaction is what I'm saying. But
yeah.
like some people have a very long threshold. Some people it needs to be on the hour, you know what I mean? So where do you fall on that kind of spectrum?
Um, the threshold where it begins to be a problem. I think from past experience, probably like 2 to 3 hours.
Okay. Um and how good are you at helping people through their emotional problems?
I'm pretty good at it.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm generally a lot better at helping other people than I am at my own shit. You know.
Okay, okay. Do you feel like you understand other people's emotions better than you understand your own emotions?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely. Okay. Why do you think that is?
I I don't know. Um, I don't know. I think I'm like I'm pretty in tune to just whatever the vibe is wherever I
Mhm.
am.
Mhm.
Um, so like I'll pick up on things. I think I'm pretty perceptive. Um, yeah, and it also means that like I don't have to deal with myself. So that's a plus. But no, like I think like when it's someone else too, I can like take a step back from it too, be a
Mhm.
little removed from it, and so that like that's definitely easier.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I enjoy that. I like to I like to be able to help the people I care about and
Mhm.
support them and be someone who can talk them through things if that's what they need.
Mhm.
So
Mhm. 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 Okay, that's really useful. And would you say that there is a clear dividing line between other people's emotions and your own, or would you say that it's a bit fuzzy?
the latter,
The latter? Okay.
I'm very empathetic.
Yeah.
So it's really challenging for me not to feel what other people are feeling.
Mhm. Mhm.
I can do it if I if I have some distance, like, or if I really try to ground myself. But it's so hard. I'm trying to get better at it.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay.
Yeah,
And some people are kind of like they sort of continuously feel like in the eternal now sort of, and then other people see themselves as more of like on a timeline or as part of a continuity. um which of those sounds more like the way that you kind of perceive reality? I mean, everybody's brain's obviously very,
yeah,
very different, but like there's sort of a spectrum I've noticed, you know.
yeah. So you say like in eternal now versus continuity. By continuity, do you mean like someone seeing themselves as part of a story, or
Kind of. I
am I
mean,
like
yeah,
mishearing you?
yeah. No, I think people who the continuity people would be more the people who have a really strong grasp on all of the events that have led up to this point, and can can find that through line kind of.
Yeah.
Um, whereas the people who are sort of in the eternal now, experiences are kind of experienced and then discarded to a degree, and then just moved on to.
Oh, so that's hard. Like, I'm not really sold on the concept of linear time, and I do think I do think I spend a lot of time. Like, I think like climate anxiety is pretty big for a lot of people right
Mhm.
now. But that shows up for me a lot in my work and things like that. But at the same time, like in terms of um, like the way that I experience life in terms of like my thoughts and emotions, generally they're pretty transient. Generally, like they're gonna just show up,
Mhm.
and I'm going to have to deal with them.
Mhm. Mhm.
So which feels a little more like what you're describing, like the eternal now.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm. Mhm.
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Okay. Okay. That's fine. Um, what about how good are you at overseeing other people?
Overseeing,
Hmm.
like being in charge of them.
Being in charge of them, or managing their schedules, managing their behavior, managing their output, things like that.
Yeah. So that's something like I've had to do in the past
Mhm.
quite a bit. It seems like I'm very good at it. I'm also
Mhm.
like I'm the oldest of five
Mhm.
kids,
Mhm.
so like I can take on that role
Mhm.
should I need to, and I will excel in it. But I also hate it. I hate telling people what to do. I don't like
Mhm.
being told what to do. So
Mhm.
to do that to someone else feels like I'm like infringing on their existence. I would rather like have a consensus based system. I
Mhm.
try to I try to bring that in to whatever environments I'm in. I think
Mhm.
it's more helpful
Mhm. Mhm.
if everyone's able to contribute. If I have to be in charge of people, then I really try to take that as an opportunity to try to create ways for them to have more agency. Because that's what
Mhm.
I would want.
Mhm. So are you generally? Do you find it easy to create in general?
Like create
Because you just mentioned you would
anything.
create this sort of autonomy for people, or you'd create a sense of I forget what the word you used already, but yeah, what like you've already mentioned that
Well,
you're
like
an artist.
agency.
Yeah, creating agency. You've already mentioned that you're an artist, a musician, a writer, and things. So
Yeah.
is that just are you just creating a lot? Or like how often are you creating things?
Oh, like creating things
Mhm.
constantly. I don't know that I ever really stop, like, or like I'll put it down, but then if I pick it up, it just comes,
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I feel like my job in my art is to get out of the way of the self as much as possible. I think I
Mhm.
trust that, like if I'm present and I choose to engage in something, it will come. Like
Mhm.
writing comes pretty naturally.
Mhm.
It's just like it'll be there. There'll be something there. I won't
Mhm.
know what it means. That's okay. Like I don't
Mhm.
have to know everything. I think like a lot of things like you know it's just kind of all it's like floating around in the brain, and
Mhm.
you know you can trust that there's more going on there than you're necessarily able to know every single minutia.
Right, right. Do you think that people think you know more than you think you know?
Oh yeah, people think that I'm very intelligent. They think I'm very like well reasoned and analytical, but I don't really think that I know anything. I am very analytical. I'm definitely like pretty strategic, things like that.
Mhm.
Um,
But you'd prefer to
I feel like yeah.
yeah,
Sorry.
go ahead. No, no, I want you to finish that.
So yeah, I feel like um, my intuition works at a pretty surface level. I think I'm just like,
Mhm.
oh, this is cool. This is cool. I like that. That makes
Yeah.
me happy.
Right, right, right.
Um, yeah, which like, but I think people think it's deeper than it is. But like maybe it is, like, because, it's, yeah, if
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
something there, there's something there and it's good.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
But
Okay. Um, how far in advance would you say that you plan things out?
Um, it depends what things. I like it. It takes me a long time to figure out um, what I really want. I have to deliberate over that because I don't know. I guess I have a hard time choosing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so that's going to take a lot longer. But usually, like I'll come to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it just might not be on a convenient or acceptable time frame.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Deciding things, how do I make decisions?
You probably talk to people a lot to make decisions.
Yeah, yeah.
Seems like.
And I'm like, hey, can we talk, please? Yeah,
Mm-hmm. And what do you do if something's bothering somebody, but they don't want to? That you have a sense for what it is, but they're they don't see it yet. What do you do?
they don't see it. If it's really, I think they need to make that decision on their own time. I think, I trust in that. I trust that they will, you know, yeah, that's like I would prefer for them to have the freedom to make the decision for themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So for the most part, I'm going to try to be as supportive as I can. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to try to validate whatever it is they're feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And if something's like really bothering them, and if I think I see it, like I'll try to say it. Because I would, I would rather someone tell me. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to do the same for them. I'm going to tell them. Um, but it might be which is so like if it's uncomfortable, like I don't like people to be mad at
Mm-hmm.
me or each other. Like I value like harmony
Mm-hmm.
pretty highly, but
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes it's a bit disingenuous,
Mm-hmm.
um yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty adaptable and pretty resilient, but
Okay.
I,
So
sorry, I
so
lost track.
no, it's okay. So so what is it about your you don't have to tell me what type you think you are or anything yet, but like what
Yeah.
is it about uh your personality that has caused you to try to understand what type you are um or to figure your own like personality out, I guess.
I think
Why are you doing that?
I think it's a very useful framework. If you have a framework, you can apply it to yourself or potentially others. So I think like it works in two directions. It works towards the lens of self understanding, and it works
Mm-hmm.
towards the lens of other understanding. So I I was like somewhat familiar with typing for a
Mm-hmm.
while, but not really in depth at all. I only learned about cognitive functions recently, and when I learned about
Mm-hmm.
cognitive functions, I was like, oh, this is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm, like trying to understand that as much as I can. So I think that's going to be natural. Like, what I can draw on are my own experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be readily accessible all the time, always.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I can draw from other people's experiences if I have a conversation with them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, I think ultimately I want to learn as much as I can.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also I'm worried like if like I don't know. I'm worried like not worried. I think sometimes like I am just very happy acquiring information
Mm-hmm.
until I feel like once I feel like I have a really good grasp of it, I'm like, okay, cool. And then I look for something else
Right,
that
right.
like will like entrance me.
Yeah.
Um,
So what is it about at the beginning of the call you said you're not a very introspective person.
yeah,
But that's by some evaluation you're making of yourself. So uh is it that you're thinking from the standpoint of, well, I don't spend a ton of time introspecting, or is it that when I do introspect, it's not productive or successful, or what? Like what is it?
yeah.
What is about introspection? Could you elaborate a little bit on that, perhaps?
Introspection. Um, I think it's like pretty difficult for me to engage in introspection. Um,
Why do you think it's difficult?
yeah.
Well, we
Oh,
don't have to go
sorry.
down that road if it's
No, I think
if
I
it's
had. I
painful
think I had
territory.
something. No, it's not painful at
I
all.
just saw a
No, I
look in your
just.
face like I don't know if I want to go there. So,
No, I was like searching. Like
uh-huh, uh-huh.
I just don't think it's something I do very often at all.
Mhm.
And I find that I have the ability to make very incorrect judgments.
Mhm.
Well, they turn out to through experience.
Mhm.
They turn out to be incorrect, even
Mhm.
about myself. So I would have to say that um, I clearly cannot introspect if like whatever time I do spend alone with my thoughts, which is not generally very much. If if I can be wrong,
Mhm.
um, if I can be wrong about even my own thoughts, um,
Okay.
that could be wrong about anything.
So
Yeah,
so it kind of does it come down to not trusting your own conclusions?
not trusting my own conclusions. I'll trust my conclusions if I make them. Um, but I think it's just a challenge for me to make them. You know, I'd rather not have to make a conclusion
Mhm.
um, because there might be something I'm missing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you prefer to be in let's see. Could you tell me something that you could you tell me a belief that you have that you hold strongly to be true?
Um, believe the universe is going to outlast me,
Okay.
and I believe that I'm okay with that.
Okay. That's good. What do you think the universe is?
Um, it's like it's a sum total of all matter in existence. It's everything that was and is. Um, yeah, everything kind of you know most of the universe is not anything I'm ever going to be able to know. Um, but I would like to, which is I think it's probably a fatal flaw. I think I'm too curious for my own good. Um, which like sometimes it's great. It's very fun.
Mhm.
Yeah, I can learn lots of things, but there'll never be like there's never like an asymptote that I'm going to reach and be like, ah, yeah, like
Mhm.
now I have, now I know enough. Now it is right.
Right.
Um,
Do you think that if you were in a position where a friend or partner or somebody uh, was going to tell you something and it would shatter your world, but you would know the truth, would you rather live in your little bubble, or would you rather know the truth and just deal with the devastation?
no, I know. I'd want to know.
You'd want to
You
know?
know.
Okay. Just that's just one question that I think of that I thought I would ask.
Yeah.
Okay. We're probably right around the halfway point. I've got some theories, but I
Okay.
have to think about it, and I have to go pour my second bourbon, and
Yes.
think about, which you know that I do that, and
Mm.
this video is not sponsored by 1792 bourbon, but if it were and they wanted to send me free bottles of bourbon to drink during this, I would not complain. So that's just that's my plug for the sponsor that I don't have. All right. Thanks. Thanks so much. We're at the, like I said, we're at the halfway point. So for the viewers at home, we'll see you in part B. You feel like it's going okay so far? What do you think?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I was surprised. I didn't. It feels like it's been productive. It feels like
Good.
you ask very good questions, and I value that in a person.
All right. Glad you're getting something out of it so far. So, all right. See you in part B, friends. We'll be right back.